I assume everybody watched the Super Bowl last night. Yes? Amazing game, huh? Amazing turnaround. Well, I'm going to talk today about something amazing as well. So KwikBit, as I said earlier, our mission is to connect every location in the world with gigabit wireless. So I want you to imagine an amazing experience for you. I know building gigabit networks is tough. You guys do it every day, and it's a tough business. But imagine, you could have a user interface, like a network heat map I'm showing here, and you can put in your destination, where you want gigabit bandwidth. Just order your bandwidth online, and within 24 hours, we will tell you that we can connect you to gigabit speeds. So assume that experience. That's what we want to do with KwikBit. Basically, gigabit network on demand. So we are the world's first on-demand gigabit wireless network as a service. And what that means is that we will connect every location on demand, and it will sell it as a wholesale service. So you, as an operator, can depend on us for a reliable, high-performance, high-quality gigabit connection wirelessly. So why is this so important today? And you know, watching the Super Bowl ads, it was interesting. I don't know if you watched the T-Mobile ads. You know, it was about wireless pain. You know, did everybody see the wireless pain ads? They were kind of painful, right? And the reality is that 80–90% of the traffic on the wireless network is going over Wi-Fi. So actually, I call you guys the biggest mobile operators in the world than the mobile operators today. But what's causing that? It's actually been Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is being more and more pervasive everywhere. Wi-Fi is inside homes, Wi-Fi is enterprises, and it's going to gigabit, as you know, right? And as I look at the younger generation, the millennials or my kids who are 9 and 4, they are all using Wi-Fi everywhere. And it's not just for data connectivity, it's also for voice and video streaming, and as this example shows, for streaming VR. Assume that day. That is happening as we speak today. People are using gigabit Wi-Fi everywhere. But what's that causing is that the locations where you have those Wi-Fi connectivity, the backhaul is very important. And you know, you can't get fiber everywhere. I think Phil made a great point about digging is tough. I think a lot of people have found that to be true. More recently, our friends in Mountain View. So the reality is that gigabit Wi-Fi experience is going astronomically, and we need connectivity that matches that gigabit experience to allow for that user experience to be really, really amazing, right? So what are the alternatives, right? And you know, this has been the holy grail for the technology and telecom industry, right? There's been lots of alternatives over the years. A lot of them have failed, as you know, right? And what's left right now, you know, and I'll go through three areas that I think are left over. One is, you know, the new media entrants are trying some exotic ways to do this, right? It's either going to be through balloons, you know, or through drones, or through satellites, or through terrestrial mesh networking systems. You know, there's fancy ways to do that. There's also, and I think alluded earlier, 5G is coming on, right? So the mobile operators, as they're expanding their base, they're depending on 5G mobile technology to actually be used for fixed wireless access. But lo and behold, there's going to be a third alternative. And that alternative is KwikBit. KwikBit is going to use unlicensed spectrum at 5 and 60 gigahertz to provide the most highly efficient, cost-effective, and fast-to-market gigabit wireless as a service. That's what KwikBit is about. So you ask, okay, what's the secret sauce here? What are we doing differently, right? And I think if you look at the technology industry, you know, we've had lots of failures in the space in wireless, right? People have said wireless is great, it's fast to market, but it's difficult to do. So what are we doing differently? Number one, we're doing non-line of sight. At 5 gigahertz, we have a solution that can get you up to 1 kilometer non-line of sight, you know, 500 megabits. And when I say non-line of sight, I mean trees in the way, obstructions in the way, everything in the way, but you still will get the service. Secondly, we're going to use 60 gigahertz. Somebody alluded to that earlier. Little known to everybody that 60 gigahertz is the largest amount of spectrum known to mankind. There used to be 7 gigahertz. We lobbied the FCC in my last company, Cybeam, that was a pioneer of gigabit wireless chips at 60 gigahertz. Now we're going to have 14 gigahertz of spectrum. By the way, that is 10 times more spectrum that's going to be available to 5G. So we already have an advantage there. Secondly, the chips that I show here are actually in production right now. They're being used for indoor communication. What we're going to do is use those chips for outdoor communication and provide a very, very high reliable, high quality link using 60 gigahertz. But 60 gigahertz won't go multi-kilometer. It's still going to be 300 to 400 meters, but you're going to get multi-gigabit day one, and you're going to go to 10 gigabits pretty soon. So those are the core radio technologies. But at the end of the day, this is not about a radio technology. This is about a network as a service. So one of the key things in wireless has been the prediction of the quality of the link. And what we do is with our cloud-based automated deployment tools, we're going to use drone technology and augmented reality to provide a very fast deployment. When I say very fast, I mean 10-minute installs for wireless. So imagine a world where you have a network heat map I showed. You allow us to connect to us an origination point, and within 24 hours, we will deploy the network, and we will automate the network. In order to do that, we have to do things in the background with machine learning and artificial intelligence to predict the link, to predict the performance, and deploy the link and monitor it. That's the secret sauce that we're going to use to actually deploy it fast. And last but not least is our business model. We believe that at the end of the day, the service provider wants connectivity and wants it fast. They don't want to be mucking around with radios and backhaul technologies and core networks and figuring out if it works, it doesn't work, what breaks, what are you going to do. They want a service. So we're going to offer that as a service model, meaning that we will monitor the link, we will manage the link. So that in a nutshell is KwikBit. Now, we're going to show you a live link. Before I do that, just quickly on the use cases, number one is, cable is trying to go to enterprise, and the biggest advantage we provide is allowing you to extend your fiber plan and your DOCSIS plan to wireless for enterprises. So point-to-point, multi-gigabit to provide that. Secondly, as Wi-Fi is becoming more and more dense, not only indoors but also outdoors, there's a huge densification problem, and you all know you can't dig those last couple of 100 meters. It's very, very hard. And lastly, as 5G is happening, I think Phil mentioned earlier, there is going to be huge infrastructure backhaul issues with that. So preparing for that backhaul, getting it ready, this is ideal for that. So I'm going to show you a live demo. I have Kyle with me here. We're showing you a link. This is from actually sunny Orlando through the cloud. We are connecting to, well, it doesn't seem that chilly, but chilly, Minnesota, Minneapolis here. This is a link on a 2-story building in Minneapolis. We're going 600 meters through those trees and buildings. This is a live camera feed, and we're getting around 500 megabits, non-line of sight, through trees and buildings. This is the cloud-based interface. As Kyle zooms in, you can see the throughput, you can see the performance, you can see the radio link, you can see interfering channels, you can see how we manage the link to allow for the reliability and quality to be very, very high. And we do that automatically through our network system. And we also can manage the performance of the radios, we can manage the manageability. All the traps are all in the cloud. So from here, I can manage the network anywhere. So going back to our summary slide, what we're trying to say here is we basically are providing the network as a service, gigabit wireless as a service. We're providing the best capability to revolutionize the network for wireless. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you at the Tech Stadium. We have a live demo there too. Thanks.